I want to bring in Doug Collins, too, and also ask the congressman who's done so much during this and spoke so often. Yesterday, you leaned on heavily for hours. The president said, good marks and reviews on the letter I sent to Pelosi. She is the worst. No wonder people like her and Crying Chuck in D.C. have been such a mess for so long. Do you feel the same way?
I think what we're seeing today is a culmination of what the Democrats' obsession with impeaching this president has come to. And it's been sad because along the way they've trashed the rules in the House, they've trashed decorum, they've trashed everything because they had one purpose and one purpose only, to undo the election of 2016 when their own candidate failed miserably and their own policies have never been accepted by the American people. This is all about an election in 2020. If you don't believe me, just listen to their words yesterday. They're infatuated with impeaching this president, and impeachment is the only way they feel they can do it.
Congressman, if they and they will, they're going to impeach the president on two articles. One of them would be obstruction of Congress because he did not offer up witnesses and documents. That has happened pretty much in every administration of our lifetime. So if they impeach this president over that, isn't that a preview of coming attractions every other time?
Oh, it is. I mean, last night a question was asked is where do we move forward from here? And they so lowered the bar, you don't even have to jump now to get over it for impeachment. Look, this obstruction of Congress charges, these Democrats like Adam Schiff and Speaker Pelosi and Jerry Nadler acting like petulant children. That's all they're doing here. They're sitting in the middle of the floor screaming and kicking their feet because they didn't get what they want. And they wanted the documents and all the things that they didn't ask for because they just wanted to get at the president. They had no intention of doing a true investigation. They just simply wanted to get at the president. So they said at the end of the day, we can't form any crimes. We're going to do this a vague abuse of power. And while we're at it, let's just throw in obstruction of Congress because we didn't get our way.
Congressman, when you look at the history of impeachment, two resolutions have led to impeachment by the House, Johnson and Clinton, but both were acquitted by the Senate. This will be written about in the history books. Your grandchildren one day will be learning that President Trump was one of these presidents that was impeached by the House and likely will be acquitted by the Senate. How does that make you feel?
It's sad. I mean, here's a gentleman who came to the White House, whether you like him or not, and the Democrats obviously do not, whether you disagree with his policies or not. All they had was never to let him have an easy breath, but they wanted to impeach him. They started the day after he was elected, started the day after they were sworn in, and even this year when they got the opportunity as a majority to impeach him, that's all they wanted to do. But this president simply came to Washington and said, I'm going to clean up Washington. I'm going to actually help people. He gave tax cuts. He's made our military strong. They're mad at him because he's actually did what he said he would do, and that's the part that bothers me the most, because history will record that we're in some of the best times we've ever had while the Democratic Party is simply looking out for elections.
For the president to be vindicated, does he have to get to the bottom of what happened in 2016 in the Ukraine election? Would you encourage him to keep sending Rudy Giuliani back there to get to the bottom of all this?
I think at this point what the president needs to do is let Mr. Durham, who's doing his work, the IG report was always scathing about the corrupt cabal at the FBI and Department of Justice. We're going to get to that bottom. What I would like to see this president do is continue to fight just like he's always fought for himself and fought for this country. Let's continue to put forward policies like prescription drugs, trade policies, these kind of things. That's what makes this president stand out, and he's been amazing at it. The rest of us are going to fight, and we're going to fight hard for keeping the Democrats at bay. But they have no message, they have no hope for 2020 except to try and impeach this president. Right. That's what we need to focus on.
Congressman Collins, this really started on day one because remember, before the president's inauguration, I think I saw news stories 60, 70 members of Congress, Democrats, were not going to go to the president's impeachment, or rather his inauguration.
Oh, they'll be at the impeachment.
They will be. Would not go to his inauguration because they said at that point he was not a legitimately elected president of the United States because of the Russia interference. So on day one, they were all in.
Oh, it's been that way since it has been since day one. They didn't want to go to the inauguration. They didn't want to do anything because their candidate failed. And when their candidate failed, they had nothing else to do except to try and impugn the integrity of this one. What's really the history is going to write about this is how the Democrats went from day one to impugn the electoral vote of 63 million Americans, but also really in this whole process, how they even went across the seas and started trashing Mr. Zelensky when they couldn't form the pressure part of this whole impeachment thing of the pressure on Mr. Zelensky to do something unfavorable. What they started is attacking his character. Democrats show no shame. They will attack anyone if it doesn't fit their narrative that this president needs to be impeached.
What did you think about the FISA court, the chief judge? She wrote a 4-page order. She's furious with the way this all happened, that they were misled, and she wants reform to happen. She set a deadline for reform to be January. Will someone be held accountable? Will these agents who gave false information to the FISA court, will they be held accountable?
I believe so. Most of them don't work anymore at the Department of Justice, but I think you're going to see
You know who they are?
Well, I think you're going to look. I mean, I'm going to start with Mr. Comey. Mr. Comey signed off on these. I mean, and he can go on and make an apology to her all he wants, but he is the most unsympathetic character in this process because he was at the very center of this with the rest of the corrupt cabal, McCabe, Strzok, Page, all the rest of them. They've got to make these changes. Mr. Barr is going to do a great job doing this, but I'm so proud that the court did speak out because they were the ones that was actually abused in this process. And when you look at how this whole thing started, that's where it started,
right,
even before this president was elected.
So, Congressman, I got to ask you, you've been behind closed doors with the president of late, Jim Jordan as well. They spent a lot of quality time. Could you describe the president's demeanor? Because obviously he's really ticked off.
Yeah, this has to bother
But can
him.
you describe what it's like?
Well, wouldn't you be ticked off, too, if for 3 years in a presidency in which you won, that they've actually tried to undermine you at every step and not give you the chance and basically lie about you on many occasions? But I think that what I've noticed about the president lately is he has a calm, just look toward the future. He knows what's happened. He's very passionate about the fact that he's been wrongly treated. He's going to keep doing that. That's who this president is. He speaks his mind. But at the same point in time, he's also focused on doing what he was elected to do. And I think that's most amazing because I never have a conversation without him in which he doesn't talk about how much he wants to do for the people of America. When you see that, that's his passion that not only will fight against the injustice the Democrats are doing, but also fight for the people who actually elected him.
You know, Mr. Collins, you know that the voting sequence, they're going to vote on the articles of impeachment, and then essentially they're going to vote for the USMCA, which seems a little suspicious given the fact that it sat there in the House for over a year. Nancy Pelosi could have brought it up at any time. Has she been using that as a little sweetener to get some folks on the Democratic side to go ahead and vote for impeachment?
Oh, I believe so. She's using everything she possibly can. There's more arm twisting going on behind the scenes right now than you could ever imagine. And it's sort of sad that in one day they want to slap the president, they want to tear down democracy, and on the next day basically do a trade deal that's been done for a year. Right. It's almost like they couldn't leave up here with just the impeachment. They didn't want that. They knew they're smart enough politically to know they can't leave that as the last taste in their mouth before Christmas. So they're going to do USMCA tomorrow. American people are not fooled. They see the sham that is going on.
Well, McConnell says I'm going to wait till January to vote on it, possibly for that reason, even though you guys, they could do it in the same day.
So the message is confusing Americans. It's like he is the world's worst president, but at the same time, he's somebody we can work with.
Yeah, Congressman, that means that Brian loses the bet. He bet us $1 each that USMCA would pass before Christmas.
Right.
Not going to happen.
And the thing is, I'm going to need an arbiter because I did pass, so I should get at least 50 cents.
Congress.
Brian, if you need an attorney, I can step in here. We can argue this. Okay?
I have seen so much of attorneys.
You're busy. All right,
I got work to do. Work to do.
You've got a big day ahead of you. Congressman, thank you very much.
God bless you. Merry Christmas. Used to be a
Merry
pastor.
Christmas.
Was pastor of the
Merry
church.
Christmas.
Right.
Georgia.
He should bless us.
We need it.
All right.